Hey folks, welcome back to the Talos Principle 2, where we are exploring the Lost Marshes. We've completed 3 of the main puzzles and found 1 star. We know the second one requires a green light, which we have not yet found. So we still have 5 main puzzles and 2 lost puzzles to do, as well as a couple other question marks, which are most likely terminals. We're here outside puzzle number... I don't see the number, but I'm pretty sure this is 3. Yeah, this was 3. We've completed it. So let's head in the direction of 4 for now. There's also a lost puzzle over here, which we may be able to endeavor to complete. Oh, I do see we have a new social media post. Let's check that out. The Devil's Bargain. Sibaway. Number 402 says, from Theophilus of Adana to Dr. Faustus, from Marlowe to Goethe, there's a story that the ancients kept telling. A wise man tempted by the devil to sell his soul in exchange for knowledge, with terrible consequences. I've long wondered why they thought this story so important, and I'd be curious to hear what others think. Malduk says, the ancient writers knew that knowledge is dangerous, and its pursuits often lead to tragedy. Damien replies, knowledge is dangerous for those who want to hoard power. These stories are designed to keep ordinary people compliant. Lebistros comments, and yet in a lot of the stories that I've read, the writer seems fascinated with the devil's side of the argument. I think they often conflated political anxieties with technological or intellectual progress because talking about the real problem was taboo. The pursuit of knowledge comes at a cost, but without it the world is boring, and deep down those writers knew that. Malduk is right, knowledge leads to tragedy. Damien's right, it's to keep people compliant. Knowledge can be extremely disruptive to a society. They were grappling with that. It's a pseudo-profound story that writers refused or reused because it made their work look deeper than it was. I think the real root of the story, or the root of the moral embedded in the story, is that unearned knowledge is dangerous. Or taking shortcuts is dangerous, right? I think that's the idea there. Because unless you believe that there's a literal devil who makes deals with people for their souls, which, to be honest, I do not, then the stories have to be metaphors for making deals with dangerous people for access to knowledge or power or wealth or sex or some other vice that you want and that you haven't earned, and then delaying the price until the interest grows and you end up, so far in debt that it costs you everything. So I think the real warning is not to take shortcuts, right? Given that that's my thought, which of these most closely maps to that? Talking about the real problems was taboo. Knowledge leads to tragedy. I don't really have an option here that fits. Malduk's point is that knowledge is dangerous and its pursuit often leads to tragedy. I don't know about the pursuit of knowledge. Damien says knowledge is dangerous for those who want to hoard power. These stories are designed to keep ordinary people compliant. I suppose there's an element of truth there, but I don't think that was something that the writers would spread. I think these stories would have been popular with rulers because of that side effect. Lebistro says the writer seems fascinated with the devil's side of the argument. So how does 1K feel, since we don't have a direct mapping to the way I feel? I don't think he agrees with Damien or Malduk. I suppose the closest would be this one. Knowledge can be extremely disruptive to a society, and they were grappling with that. Belmarsh replies, 1K speaks wisely. The world is a narrative, and nothing is more threatening than a misleading story. Atal says, please spare us that nonsense about narratives. We've heard it a million times. Jeremy replies, let's all stay civil, please. My point was just that they were grappling with that. Not that they rejected knowledge, but that they were trying to figure out how can it be used wisely, which I think is a positive goal. Anyway, let's continue onwards. So 4 is up there, and then there's a lost puzzle over there. Have we seen anything? Now that looks to me like something maybe. Right there. Is that a connector on top of that? No, it's an RGB converter. So if we send red and blue there, we can get green, and then somewhere else we connect it. Okay. What was this over here? Oh, I see there's a Miranda and... There's Miranda and Athena over here. What is this? Was this puzzle 1? Where the heck is the entrance to this? This is puzzle 5. Okay, so 5 and 4, we may want to send lights, both red and blue, towards this thing. Am I right that that's... Yeah, that looks like a converter to me. So if we send red and blue up there, we can draw green out of it from somewhere else, I guess. Let's listen to the hologram.
Mother, can I suggest something?
Of course, go ahead.
The southern part of the island is completely dead. No animals, no plants. The soil is too alkaline for anything to live except bacteria.
Yes, that's why it's a good location for some of the experiments.
Well, if we want to show that we can make the cosmos more beautiful, then why don't we start there? The desert doesn't have to be dead. If we modify the conditions, life can thrive there. And that could be the first step towards spreading life to other worlds. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a plan.
Okay. I can appreciate that. All right, let's head back into 4 here. Where was that plinth with the RGB converter on it? It's right there. Kind of in between those trees. Yeah, we can see it from here. So if there's a... Yeah, there's red in here. We might be able to make something happen here. This puzzle number 4 is called Prison. We can start there. Oh. Okay, so we've got hexahedrons. Oh my, we've got a lot of things. I think we want to jailbreak you, so we need another... We need this. And then we need to move this around so that we can hit that one as well. Okay, that gets us access to you. Now there's something in here. What is that? Oh, we use the boxes, hit the switch, open the gate. So we need 3 boxes though. We have 2 items. We need a 3rd item so we can get 3 boxes together. I guess we do have 3 items, but we need to get... How are we gonna... I see. I think we can open this from this side with the blue light, right? So we don't need that anymore. If we... I think we need a box. I think we need a box like here so that we can power this from this side and pull the other thing in. Like that. There we go. Now we can grab this and bring it inside. Okay. So now we've got 3 items. Let's go ahead and set this up. And free this guy. Okay. Now what are we doing? Now we need red and blue. So let's see. We get blue here, I think. Something like that. Let's trade these out. Excuse me. We might actually need one box. I'm not sure. We can get red and blue from here. So let's get blue here. And we'll get red here. Okay, so we have access to blue and red. Let's see. So then we take the red. Let's see. We need the blue inside the red. So if we're gonna do this, we need to go like this. That would open that. But now we can't get the red where it needs to be, unfortunately. So 1, 2 we're using. Can we get the red inside the blue? I don't think we can, right? Unless we... No. Even if we open this gate... Well, then we could get the blue inside the red. But we need... I think we need a box, but then we don't have the connector we need, so... What if we had that open? We could get red from there. We could get red inside like that. So, yeah, if we had this open... Let me see. If we had this open, we could get blue from there. So I think we start by getting blue set up like this. So we want this to self-power the blue like this, and then we'll grab it from there as well. That's not quite right. Okay, so now we have blue. And we can grab red from, like, there? Okay. So then we have red come here. Or I wonder if we can actually... Hold on. We can actually... Yeah, we can go like this. Okay. There we go. And then we can use a box to get blue going. Okay. Yeah. I think this should be good, like right here. There we go. Puzzle solved. Okay. And interestingly, there's an exit right here.
Solving puzzles. In a way, 1K's experience must be very similar to Athena's in a simulation.
There's one difference, though. Athena was alone.
That is a big difference. That's true. So now that we've solved this, do we want to try and send both red and blue over there? I don't know if we can do that from in here. We might be able to do it through here. Let me see. Where is the... Yeah, maybe we could do it from here. We can kind of see it. It's like right near there. I don't know, maybe? Might be able to get one. Let me see if I can make this happen. Where is it? It's like really close to... There we go. Okay. So that's connected. Can I actually... Okay, that's going way... That's trying to go over there. So we need to move it. Where is that pointing? Is that right? Where did that select? Where did that connect to? It's yeah, we can follow this and just make sure it's going where we think it is. Yeah, it is going over to the RGB converter. So if we can somehow get that angle to work, we could get one light beam at least. We could get some blue light there. Let's see if we can make that happen somehow. Looks like we need to come pretty far forward and left. I don't know if we're going to be able to make that happen. Actually, wait a minute. I don't need you anymore. Because all the gates stay open once you solve a puzzle. So actually, we can move this something like here on the box. Yeah, if that's on the box, I think that'll work. It's only for one light, but I think it'll work. Let's see, does that look like that's going through a wall? Let's move it over here. That looks like, yeah, that would connect if it had blue light power. So let's connect it up like that. Okay. So that gets the blue light over to the connector. So we still need red, but that's a good start. I don't know that we could make 2 lights come out of here. We might need to switch this to red, I'm not sure, but that's a start anyway. So there's 4 done. Let's head over to the Lost puzzle. It's all the way over there. I don't think we'll connect anything from that. Probably 5 we connect something up. But let's see what this Lost puzzle's about. I gotta remember that. Once you solve the puzzle, you don't necessarily need to keep all the pieces in the same place because all the gates open up. All right, here we go. This one's called All Around. Well, that's a pretty big hint. All right, we have a swapper for a converter. And it looks like we're taking this red light all the way around. So let's swap this. Let's take the red light and let's put it in the blue. Okay. Then from here, what are we doing next? I guess we're carrying the blue light over as far as we can. And then we've got... Oh, dear. Where... We have a limited number of items that we can interact with. There's lots of swappers, but... Looks like we're trying to get the red light there. So I don't think this is the solution for right now. I think we use this to swap for something else, but I'm not sure what. I guess we use it to get the swapper open, and then we can come in here. This is strange. Is this a combination accumulator and RGB converter? So, to start with, we'll need a red light there. I don't think... Is there any other way to get that gate open? No, we have to go through with this. Now, hold on a minute. Actually, we can come over here and get this, and then we're done with this, right? So we don't need this anymore. Now we can come through here. We can re-jam over here. We can use this to open the gate. And then we don't need the jammer anymore. I'm not sure what to make of this yet. RGB converter. We don't have blue, right? Huh. We would need blue and green, which means we would need another item. I wonder if I can... Now, this is interesting. This is an interesting question. If I connect this to that and then swap it, does it retain... Does it retain? Like, will it continue to send towards green? Or not? If we could get some blue in there, we could find out. But we need to we need the converter. So we gotta jam here, and then yikes. I gotta take this. No, that doesn't work. Okay, we use the jammer to move this over here. But then we're not gonna have... I guess we can get red directly, and then we need the... Yeah, we need the converter over here for sure. So we gotta bring this through. The problem is, let's see. We can't... Okay, we're close. I need to figure out a way to... Yeah, we need the jammer on the other side now. So now we lock this open. Then we bring the jammer to the other side. There we go. Now we swap these back. Okay. Now we have this in here. And we swap this for this. This points there and there. And then there and there. And there's green. Okay, there we go. Now, again...
I hate solving puzzles myself, but watching you solve them is kind of fun.
Oh, well, I hope you and my viewers all feel the same way, Yakut. Now, I was going to say, we do have green light here, but we have a converter up on that thing, and I don't think we're close enough to send any light that way from here. I might revisit that decision, but for now, we're going to leave, and we're going to check out what else we've got going on here. So, this was a lost puzzle, right? And we sent light from 4. We sent blue from 4. So we kind of want to send red from 5. And we do have a question mark over here, which is probably a terminal, so I'll go check that out, and then we'll head to 5. Oh, this might be the lost lab, actually. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Let's go check this out. This one seems like I can't go anywhere. What did we get here? Collapsed lab. One of the founder's labs seems to have collapsed. I guess that shows that even the founder has limits. There's no human building that can survive without maintenance. Roots are stronger than concrete. Unless she destroyed it on purpose, of course, but it seems like the ceiling just came down. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the puzzle clusters on the island correspond to the presence of labs. Except the lab near our base camp, which doesn't have any puzzles attached to it, although it does have other strange structures surrounding it. Are the puzzles guiding us to the labs, or are we just finding the labs by accident? Does that count as completed? It does. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything I can do here. Maybe the devs just couldn't think of anything, so they're like, all right, this one collapsed, and it gives them a mystery to wonder about. Could be, right? Any other question marks? There's one over by 7, it looks like. Okay, so that's probably the last terminal in this map. Let's head over to 5. Now, from 5, where is the connector? It should be on the far side, I think, before we go in. Let's see if we can find it. Should be pretty clear with a beam of green light coming from 4. Yeah. Okay. So it's right there. It's pretty close. It's on the back side of the puzzle. We want to send red light there if we can, I think. And then we'll need a connector from somewhere else to take the green output and put it in the Pandora statue. All right, here we are at number 5. This one's called Twice. We can clearly see the connector or the RGB converter, and we do have a red light here, so that's something to think about. Twice, huh? We got swappable item. We got an accumulator. We probably... The jammer would be great, but I think, yeah, we need to jam that first. So let's jam here. That gets us in here. There's the solution. Okay. It does look like... Huh. Is there another item? There's not. So how would we can only have 2 items here. 1 and 2. How would we have a 3rd item to send light to this gate? I guess we have to power up the accumulator and bring it through and not source it, right? Somehow? Somehow. Okay. For now, we need to get our hands on the light, which we need to convert from red to blue and stick into the accumulator. So, let's see. We're gonna need a jammer. We probably need the second jammer as well, because what we want to do is reverse this. There we go. Then we take this, connect it. No. Do we just leave this here and then come back for... That I'm not sure about. I mean, we can... What happens if I do this while that's... Yeah, I can't connect to it while it's there. Can I feed this back to itself if we... I don't think so, right? Why didn't that work? I was jamming the wrong one. Can I feed this back to itself? No. How would I... Can I get both of them in there? I don't think so. I might be able to get them both past the first gate. Yeah, maybe that's how I do it. So, like, if I bring this here... Oh, that opens both, huh? Okay, well, there we go. Okay, now we've got the blue light we need. So... It should retain its charge when we swap it. Yeah, it does. Okay. So now this does confuse me a little bit. Like, I can come over here. Okay, here it is. Yeah, we bring this through. Pop that. There we go. Bob's your uncle. Solved. Okay. There's 5 solved. And now we need to get some red light. And see if we can fire it off.
How many cities there are out there under the ocean. Cities where people lived for thousands of years. Cities with their own history, their own culture. All of it lost under the waves. If they'd been less greedy, they could have kept all that. I don't think we can pass moral judgment on an entire species based on the decisions of a handful of leaders. But I do think they made a mistake. They stopped caring about what they built. They stopped seeing the romance of civilization.
Yeah. Greed. It's not always greed either. What's the famous saying? Never attribute to malice that which can be attributed to incompetence. I think it's just we got so big, we couldn't tell each other what we were doing anymore. We couldn't speak to each other anymore. No doubt there was some greed and probably some malice. But I don't think it was all that. Okay, so Pandora's over here. Which way is she facing with the book? Is that her or is that... Yeah, that's her with the book, I think. That is her. So let's see if there's a connector in here. Which one is this? 3? Are we done with this one? So we can see green there would go to there. Do we have a connector in here? We do. If I could aim it. I can see that. Hang on. I can see that. And then where's the source? I might need to drill a hole here. Hang on. Where's the source? It's up there. Okay. We can just see it through like a corner. Yeah, there it is. So we need a box to put it on if we can get one through here, which I think we can with the drill. We need one more item. Okay. So I think what we got to do here is we got to pull the box through? No. How would this work? We don't have another item to swap with to set the thing on the box. Can I come over here to do it? Oh, maybe, maybe I bring... Yeah, I can see it from here. So I don't actually want to do that. I want to bring the connector through the drill. Through the hole in the wall. There we go. And then we come here. There we go. Very nice. All right, there's our second star. Oh no, don't die, don't die. Ooh.
Horses are broken, not taught. That is the way of humankind.
Oh, that's brutal. That's a brutal aphorism. Horses are broken, not taught. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's ways to teach with kindness for animals. So what are we looking at now? We've done 1 through 5. We have 1 lost puzzle in 6, 7, 8. There is also a question mark here, which is probably a terminal. Let me head over there, and then we'll do 6, 7, 8 and the last lost puzzle. Now, what are you? Let's find out. A terminal. All right. Poisonous Humility. Excerpted from Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton. I think we read something by him recently. Last episode, perhaps. But what we suffer from today is humility in the wrong place. Modesty has moved from the organ of ambition. Modesty has settled upon the organ of conviction, where it was never meant to be. A man was meant to be doubtful about himself, but undoubting about the truth. This has been exactly reversed. Nowadays, the part of a man that a man does assert is exactly the part he ought not to assert, himself. The part he doubts is exactly the part he ought not to doubt, the divine reason. Huxley preached a humility content to learn from nature, but the new skeptic is so humble that he doubts if he can even learn. Thus, we should be wrong if we had said hastily that there is no humility typical of our time. The truth is that there is a real humility typical of our time, but it so happens that it is practically a more poisonous humility than the wildest prostrations of the ascetic. The old humility was a spur that prevented a man from stooping, not a nail in his boot that prevented him from going on. For the old humility made a man doubtful about his efforts, which might make him work harder, but the new humility makes a man doubtful about his aims, which will make him stop working altogether. Miranda says, I had to read this twice to fully understand it. Yeah. He's saying men have taken the lesson that they should be humble and turned it into an excuse to do no work, to give up. I'm not sure about the time in which he wrote this, or whether it applies broadly, but I can see how it could happen that way. Excursion from Miranda to Athena. It's incredible. There's an entire submerged town just off the coast, surprisingly well preserved. Sailing over it, I finally understood what the ancients meant by eerie. I obviously couldn't have the kind of psychological or physiological response they did, but I think the mental response was pretty close. A contradictory response, part melancholy, part fascination. It's strange how tragedy and destruction make the beauty of civilization more obvious. Miranda. P.S. A deer got into the maintenance area and made a huge mess. Sorry, I'll clean it. PPS, I may have been feeding it. So yeah, Miranda, for most of what we're reading, was very young. I think she'd been recently born and was still like 1K experiencing what it meant to exist in the real world. Experienced eeriness for the first time, just fascinated by everything in the world. And had a pet deer, which caused a problem. Kind of a typical kid behavior that had kid consequences. Failed to load profile, failed to load comment. Don't know who this was. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Cornelius or somebody else who was out here with Athena and Miranda, but we haven't been able to figure them out yet. We still also don't know who this 5358 is. We've got Founding 6 here. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 296. Cornelius and Sarai went back to the dam today. We've been holding off on constructing any new humans to concentrate on building a home for them first. But there's a limit to what 13 people can do on their own, and everyone is eager to start construction on some of the more ambitious structures. Sarabai's kindness and patience is something that we'll certainly miss out here, where tempers can sometimes run high. And I'll miss Cornelius, too. He was there when I was born, and he's just as much a father to me as Athena and Alexander Drennan are my mothers. But I suppose I can always go visit them. The dam isn't that far, and once we complete the monorail in a few decades, it will truly only be a few minutes away. And what are a couple dozen years, really, when you might live forever? Those are interesting, not really thought-provoking, but they do give us some insight into the personalities of some of these people. One of my commenters told me I missed out on the chance to speak to Cornelius because he's only there at the start of the game, and I don't know what happens to him, whether he just leaves and isn't there when we get to go back, or if he dies, there's some kind of disaster, you know, the New Jerusalem blows up or whatever. But apparently I missed my chance to speak with him, which stinks. But I'd love to speak to Hypatia and Sarai and some of these other folks we've read about. Most of all, I'd probably want to speak to Athena. We also have another audio log from Trevor.
Something I really like about Alex, one of the reasons why I'm here doing this, is that she's really humble. She has this incredibly positive view of humanity. She believes we can accomplish anything, but it's not about her. She doesn't think that she's smarter or better than anyone else. She just looks at us as a species, and even though she can see how small we are in the grand scheme of things, she thinks that we could conquer the stars and give meaning to the universe. Even now, even when none of us are going to live to see it. Isn't that awesome?
Yes, it is, and she was a remarkable person. Okay, here we are at Puzzle 6, Up and Down. Another interesting, we've got another converter with like red and green on it, which I don't know that I've seen. Maybe it can only produce blue. And it's on a swapping plate, so we need to get up there with an item if we're going to grab it. What else do we have here? We've got, I mean, this is easy enough to get. Oh, we need to bring an item to swap there as well. Okay. I take what I said back. There's our solution. Looks like we need to get blue in there for that to happen. Okay. Up and down, this was called? What happens if we hop on the fan? It sends us up here. Okay, and then we can hop up here. So we can really only have one object at a time. Everything else is on a swapping plate. So what are we trying to do here? I mean, we need blue there. So we would need to provide red and green to that and have it Like it couldn't target from there. It would go through the grate. It would have to be like here to hit that. So there's green there. Do we have another light source that I haven't noticed? There's blue in there, which we could turn to red with this. Jeez. Does it keep its connections if it's on a swapped plate? I don't know that it does. Boy, this one does not seem easy. So, like... Let's see. If we take this and send it up there... No, we can't connect to it. Boy, this one seems tough. Like, you only get one item. So how the hell would you... Like, there's not even a red light source and a green. There's a green and blue. So you kind of have to have this. So are we trying to get that out? It's on a swap plate, right? Yeah. We have only 3 items that I've seen. Unless, wait a minute, the fan... Okay. It's again with the fan plates. I almost made the same mistake. Hold on. Can we take you? Yeah, we can take these 2. Okay. So we do have some things to move around. I think we want to start by trying to swap that for a fan so that we don't need to go back. So, like, ideally, we'd want to get up here with a fan. And then we could take this one down. So we need a way to get, like, up there. Maybe we do that with the... Maybe we can do that with this, the box. If I pop this here, can I jump up? No, I definitely cannot. So maybe we don't want to do that. Maybe we want to swap the box for the... Because we're gonna need the fans on both of these, I think, for a while. Maybe the box goes up here. Maybe. Because then we could, if we could get this up there, yeah. Okay, maybe the box goes there. And then we don't need the fan up there anymore. And then we have blue and green, which we turn into red and green. What happens... Now, hold on a minute. What happens if we... Let me go get the fan up from up here. What happens if we... shoot from green? Let's say I go up here, and I shoot from green to something else. I don't know what the converter does with green. I need something else here. It sends nothing. Yeah, because this only works with red and blue, right? Okay. Let's take this down. So now we have these 2 items. Can we use these to solve the puzzle? If I come up here, I can see the blue and the green, and I can turn that to red. Yeah. Okay, I think this is it. And then we come over here and connect it. It's almost right. I think we just have to move that a little bit. Oh, maybe we put it up here on this. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Okay, there we go. There's puzzle 6 solved. Okay, so a lot of progress made this episode. We got puzzles 1 through 6 done, and one of the all-around puzzles, plus the Lost Lab and both stars, which means next time we have 3 puzzles, and then we're back to the megastructure, which should be interesting. That's going to do it for this time. I'm going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll do what I just said. If you were paying attention, there's a quiz available online at josaway.net/TV- Talos 2 Principal quiz. There's not really. Don't go to that URL. You might get hacked. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.